It's live.
Hey everyone, this is Arlene. I'm live with Emily and Pat here to talk about nutrition. So, we're going to start with you, Emily. Emily, you have been doing nutrition for quite a while now, and it's been quite a journey for you.
Yeah.
We made a post and it got a lot of attention, and it's still getting a lot of attention. People are just curious as to how Emily made that transition. So, you've been a very big role model and inspiration to a lot of people. So, people would like to know, how did Emily get to where she is today? So, if you wouldn't mind briefly explaining where you started and where you're at and where you're looking forward to going to.
Yeah. So I guess where I started was I had always kind of like been active in a gym, had always been active like my whole life. I have a very active family, both my family and like my in-laws. And I had like COVID hit, and then I had knee surgery, and I had never like not felt good in my own skin. And then I just kind of realized one day I woke up and I was like, I just don't feel comfortable, and it was a really weird feeling. And so it took me a while before I tried, I'm going to walk more. I bought myself a walking treadmill. I'm going to count calories, and I'm going to do all these things. And then I kind of realized that it wasn't working. And so I was looking into nutrition, and I texted Vince actually, and he was like, Arlene is doing nutrition. You should really look into working with her. And so that's when I reached out. And I think that the biggest thing for me is learning more about the numbers, that it's not the weight number, because I feel like my body likes where it is right now weight wise, and it's liked that for a while. So learning that there's more to it than just weight, and also that it is hard work. I used to not really do any of our cooking. I did everything except cooking, and then Pat did all the cooking, and just realizing that it's also that needs to be a team effort as well, and that I actually have to put in effort to what I'm eating, and I can't just eat like think that I'm eating less in order to make a difference. It matters what I'm eating, not just the volume of what I'm eating.
Absolutely.
So I think those were the biggest things. And then also I was working out, a couple days a week, here and there, but with the nutrition is that the nutrition alone isn't enough. And so that's also pushed me to actually use my gym membership a lot more. And it's been really awesome to see not just how my body has changed and how my clothes fit differently. And I love that part and everything, but also just how I can perform in workouts now is really cool. And I feel like I'm always a little bit surprised at what I can do, which is fun.
That's awesome. It's very inspiring for me to see the progress that you've made. I mean, coming in and seeing you in the middle of a WOD and just being able to see all of your definition, your hard work is really paying off. So good job on everything that you've done. And Pat, I feel like she's been quite an inspiration to you as well. Can you give us a little backstory on how you decided to get started, and what about Emily's transition made you interested in nutrition as well?
Sure. So I had dabbled in macros in college whenever I was powerlifting, but I would do it for like 1 or 2 months at a time and was never very consistent. And then when Emily started with the nutrition, like she said, early on, I was doing like all of the cooking. So I was helping like prep and weigh a lot of her food. So I was already doing half of the effort required. And then I saw all the success she was having. So I said, I'm already doing all the cooking, all the weighing. So I should probably get on this train myself and reap some of the benefits and dial in my own macros.
Good. And Pat, for you, what changes have you seen so far, and what are you looking forward to seeing in the future?
I would say that there's definitely been I've been in a deficit for a couple months now, but I've seen a performance benefit for sure. Um, my body fat was kind of like stuck at one level for the whole time I was at Arsenal, which it was not bad. It was fine, but I've been able to drop to like 2 to 3%. body fat, and that 2 to 3%, it's been like a big performance boost that I've seen, especially with things like when I have to move, if I'm on the bike or running, things like that. So now that I'm there, always happy to lean out a little more, but now it's maintaining the habits that we've formed and maintaining the composition that I'm at now.
Good. And for both of you, what do you feel has been the biggest eye opener throughout this experience thus far?
I think for me, honestly, just how much work it is in planning, but that it does get a lot easier. I think the first like couple weeks that I did it, I would spend like hours adjusting my macros and trying to figure out like what kind of snacks I should have and how to do what I wanted to do on the weekends or eat the foods that I like and make them fit. And now that I'm used to it, it's so much more simple of seeing, okay, this is how much fat and how much protein I have left. Okay, these are the things that fit into that. And that it's just become more of like second nature versus like it still takes a lot of planning, but just how much easier it has gotten. So I think I was surprised by how much was involved.
Absolutely. It definitely is. It's something that people come and expect to see results within 3 or 4 weeks. And it doesn't always happen that way because you're still creating new habits. And you both have been basically leaning on each other, which is very beneficial to have somebody else in the household who has the same goals as you. And you can share the accountability and the responsibility. So that's awesome that you both have each other to bounce off of each other for ideas. And, you know, it's like you were telling me before we started that you wanted pizza and Pat got out of it. Had you not been in this together, Pat would have said, okay, what kind of pizza do you want? But he was there to support you in making a better decision. And it feels good to avoid those cravings and those foods that we absolutely want, because you feel like, all right, I didn't give in to temptation and I feel so much better for it too. That's awesome.
Definitely. And I think to the lifestyle part of it, that we know we're going to the Pitt basketball game tomorrow and we're going out to eat beforehand. And so I'll feel better doing that and eating what I want to when I'm out, now that I've actually put the effort in tonight.
Good. Yes. What do you think has been the biggest struggle that you've been able to overcome?
For me, I think it is hitting my protein macro consistently. It's been like a big lesson learned. I would say our meals were generally relatively protein based. So we would hit a pretty decent protein level from our meals, but our snacks we would default to like super high carb snacks. Mm-hmm. And whenever I started tracking, it was quite eye opening how little protein I was consuming.
Right.
That, and then also just the timing of whenever I'm eating throughout the day. At first, I would not eat enough throughout the day. And then at night, I would be trying to jam all my calories to hit my macros in, or it's much more pleasant if you plan and you can spread it throughout the day.
Absolutely. Yes. Emily, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think it was also hard when it would be like a Thursday night and I really wanted something, like I'd already consumed my macros for the day and I want something else, or those temptations, and not giving into them was the hardest part. And it has gotten significantly easier to not just like pick, or I see, a bowl of chips out and I'm, it's there, I'm probably going to eat it. So just really adjusting that thought process for myself of, I can't just do macros 2 days a week and kind of do them the rest of the days and expect to see something happen, because that, I can maybe trick myself into thinking that, but it's not going to actually change anything for me.
And building off of one thing that she said, of like, if it's in the house, we're probably going to eat it. So like having good quality foods in the house that are like easy to eat. And that's the only option.
Yes. Good. Yeah. I mean, it does go a long way with that consistency, and you both have learned that you can still enjoy things, and it's just a matter of how much enjoyment you have for that one thing and how easy is it for you to get back on track. And you both have confirmed that, you know, things have been up and down, and it's very easy for you to get back on track because you now have these habits that you've created and they will stick with you long term. So any advice, last words of encouragement that you'd offer to anybody who is also going through the program, or anybody who is on the fence about it, not sure?
I would say that if you're on the fence or you're not sure, is just to give it a try, but recognize beforehand that it's not really something that you can maybe do for 1 month and think that you're going to see all the results that you want and then move on. Is that it is a time, it does take time, and it depends a lot on how consistent you are. And also everyone's body is different. And so everyone's going to respond differently to the macros, and just being honest, like actually logging things and logging them accurately is a big thing. But also just that, you know, Arlene has helped us so much, and everyone at the gym has been very supportive of us, which is also really cool, and very helpful. And it's always fun to talk to other people at the gym. I know a couple people have talked to me about, you know, ideas of snacks and things that help you out. And so I think just, even though we're fortunate that we have like this partnership that, you know, we share the bulk cooking, we share the motivation, is that even if you don't have that person that lives with you, is you can still have that at the gym, or with other people.
Yes, very supportive community for sure.
I would just add that if you do try it, it'll probably seem hard at first, but once you kind of get over the initial wave of learning it, it's not too bad, especially like for us, like figuring out our snacks. And once we have those like staples in our house and we've been logging them for a couple of weeks in a row, it kind of just seems like normal again. So it'll be hard at first, but you will quickly adjust.
Yes. Yes. Well, I want to thank you both for your time and all the information that you shared this evening. And hopefully people will feel encouraged to come up to both of you and ask you some more questions. And again, thank you for being a bright spot for nutrition. And thanks again.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Arlene.
Thank
It was
you, Arlene.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Good night.